We are wanting to demo quite a few exciting things, and I want everyone to be able to hear and see what I'm sharing. If you want to hide my face a little off to the side or keep the view of people's faces probably about 10% of your screen, that way you can see what I'm clicking on and make what I'm sharing that much bigger. Anybody who is updating their name, I have noticed when you update your name, thank you so much for doing that, but it also unmutes you automatically. So go ahead and hit your mute again, just so that we can all hear what's going on. But since we won't hear you directly, we still want to know what your questions are. So please go ahead and type into the chat box or the Q&A box, and Melissa and I will kind of keep an eye on that and go through a Q&A session towards the end. So with that being said, my name is Dawn McClellan, and I am the training manager here with MoxieWorks. I've been with MoxieWorks coming up on 8 years, and I've been able to see all of the beautiful things that we've created. And I was actually there with you guys at your launch of Present and Engage. So I'm really excited to be able to present this new thing, this new beautiful software to you that you can use for your marketing. I'm joined by Melissa Anderson, who is your account manager, and she's going to help me answer any questions that are really specific to your situation or things that are going on for you guys individually. So without further ado, let's talk about Moxie Impress. Moxie Impress is one of my favorite tools. I think Present is top. I love Present, and Moxie Impress comes in just underneath that because it is fully automated for you. And that means you don't have to think about what marketing materials you need to create. You don't have to remember where to go to find them. And that's the beauty that I'm going to be talking about with you today. So let's move forward on my screen here. Automation through the life of your listing is going to help you remember what thing you need to create, or just be provided a list of options that you don't have to think about and go into and edit or do any of those things. So what'll happen is throughout the life of your listing, we'll get the information from the MLS, and you know that we are connected with your MLS through all of our products, and this is no different. We'll get the listing from the MLS, and we'll get the photographs and all the details. We know it's a new listing, so we'll send out an email to you. And in that email will be a selection of options for you to promote that listing, whether that be a flyer you're printing or a postcard that needs to go out or social media posts you need to post to any of your social channels. All of that will be a link right from that email. So you don't have to go even looking for it because it will come right into your inbox. So even from the hub that you're going to get access to today, there will be a link for you to go do stuff that we'll talk about in a little bit. But you don't even have to sign into the hub in order to access the marketing here, because it's going to come into your inbox, letting you know you have a new listing packet available. Then through the life cycle, things might happen with your listing, and there might be an open house you're wanting to promote, or there might be a price reduction or a price change to that listing, and you want to be able to market that as well. Well, any updates that happen to your listing, specifically open houses, if you post that into the MLS, or price reduction, will display in our system, and we'll pop out a new email to you with a different set of marketing materials just for that situation. But we're not done, because when your listing closes, we'll find out about that as well. And while the first two items will happen relatively quickly, maybe within a couple hours of the change happening from the MLS, the close will actually happen a day or two after. And the reason for that is we want to make sure that the information we're getting from the MLS is accurate and it is a legitimately closed listing. But then you'll get your just sold packet of information, and we'll send out that email to you as well. So we're going to stay with you through the whole life of this listing. What you will receive in your email, and I'll show you an example of your email here in just a minute, but what you will receive is what we call a marketing guide. It's really your coach to seeing what needs to be done. So there's an example here on your screen right there on the left. You'll see there's kind of 3 cards at the top that give you some suggestions of how to connect and promote your listing, maybe post to social media, let your customer know, tell the neighbors, tell your network. And then underneath that are links to the actual items, the actual marketing pieces. So this is the agent coach. This is your coach to be able to know what you've got. All of your marketing materials are already branded and customized. Your marketing team has been busy working with our creative team to create all of these pieces. And Melissa will probably be able to tell you all of the different pieces that can be available for you and that kind of flow that was working there. But all of these pieces are created to help maximize the visibility for your specific listing. And as Erica mentioned, these are not just for sellers. So if you're wanting to also promote that you helped sell a home as the buying or the representative for the buyer, you have access to that too. But it is also, if you're wanting to promote your own services, you can do that as well. You won't get the email, but I'll show you how you can promote yourself and your services if you have no listing right this minute and still want to utilize some of these materials. So it helps you win that next listing. In these guides, you get the kit. So it's a marketing package that's been put together based on the designs that have been selected for each event in the life of your listing. Here's an example of a just listed marketing kit. So you'll get an e-postcard, which is just an email that you can send out to your network, a flyer that you can have printed, and it can either be printed using a commercial online printer, can be sent to a local commercial printer in your own hometown, or you can just download the PDF and print it on your own office printer. Virtual tours, standalone websites, so single property websites, all of these are available for you in your marketing kit. But if you want to go digging for more, if you want to win that next listing and promote your own services, or you're representing the buyer, none of that will come directly into your inbox. So if you want to edit anything or create content, you can do that also. And there will be a link out of your hub. Melissa, am I correct on that? There will be a link to this out of the new hub.
Exactly. And that top level navigation where you go today to access engage, present, you should now see that live. Actually went live last night. So you can
Perfect.
jump straight into it's called Impress at the Hub. So when you in your email at upper right, you'll see that instead of Marketing Center.
Fantastic. Okay, so you'll be able to get to this location no matter what. If you have an active listing, you automatically receive the email. But if you're wanting to dive into that marketing center, Impress at the Hub, you'll be able to get there through that link. That's going to allow you to make adjustments. Maybe you want to edit the body copy that's included. As you know, maybe an email will allow for more words than a postcard will. So you'll be able to edit that information at your own desire and leisure. You can also download the PDFs and the images. All of that's going to be available for you, and you can create new content because there are more design options available in the Marketing Center than come in your email as well. So this is the end of my intro. Let's go ahead and just dive over and let me show you what one of those emails look like. Okay, and I sound like I've been running a race. My goodness, I'm sorry. So we've got here an email example for you, Impress at the Hub. You can see a button right there at the top of this email. Click on that and it will actually get you access to your marketing center without you having to sign into your hub first. If you're already in your hub, there's the link there as well. On this particular email, as I scroll down, you'll see those 3 cards that show up showing you how to get the word out, share this information to social media, notify the neighbors. So log into your marketing center to print out a flyer so all the neighbors know what's going on, and then notify your network. That would be your sphere of influence. So you could use Engage to do that. And you can go back in and just let everybody know about this. Towards the bottom of the email, you'll see all of the elements that are included in this specific marketing kit. So the subject line here is your BHGRE just listed marketing package for the address of your listing. You will get 1 email per listing. So if you have, 4 listings, when this goes live, you'll get 4 emails into your inbox. And Melissa, when does this actually go live for everybody?
So it will be going live later this afternoon. We wanted to make sure we got you all trained first. So the first emails will start to be sent out later today.
So I'd love to hear in the chat, how many people have multiple listings, more than 1 listing active right this minute. Anyone that does will get multiple emails in their inbox when this goes live. So we'll turn on the button and they'll receive 1 email for each listing. Today will be specifically active listings, and then through the life of those currently active listings, you'll get the additional emails. But if you had a listing that closed yesterday, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, Melissa, but if you have a listing that closed yesterday, you will not get that first initial just sold package email. You'll only get that for current active listings as they start closing. Am I right on that, Melissa, or do we make an adjustment there?
You are correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So
I think you're going
anybody,
to cover the next part. So
yeah. So I'll cover how do you want to, you still want to promote those, right? You still want to be able to showcase things that just closed recently. So I'll show you how you can go in and do that. But the emails that you'll get will be specific to your current active listings. And then going forward, it will be through that life cycle of that listing. So let me show you what some of these pieces actually look like. That's the reason that we're all here today, right? We want to see what these look like. So I'm actually going to just open up a couple of design options. These are samples for what this looks like. Here's an example of the single property website. Automatically gets created. It will populate with all of the details from the MLS. So it also includes all the imagery from your MLS. And as you scroll down, you'll see the data is included, the body copy, the photos from your MLS from that listing. And as we continue to scroll through all the beautiful photos, we'll get down towards the bottom and there will be a map. If you have a virtual tour, that's also available here for you. And you have the call, kind of the call to action to connect with whoever the listing agent is. And as you can see, there's space for there to be co-listing agents. Or if you're wanting to showcase two of the agents on that particular listing, you can do that. Here's an example of one of our flyers. So as I scroll down, you'll see it's an open house flyer, has the branding for Reliance Partners, all of the beautiful imagery from the MLS, all of the data from the MLS, and then that body copy. So just kind of consider when you're creating these materials or when you're accessing these materials, does that body copy flow really well on this specific thing? Because you can come in and edit this. So when you have that email come in, so let's come back to the email real quick, you'll notice that there's some links underneath each item. You can click on them to hit preview. What that'll end up doing is opening up, just like this, the preview of your specific marketing piece. So you'll be able to see it in action live. If you're happy with what this looks like, great. There's a save option and a download option, and you can send it off to wherever you need to send out for printing or posting to social media. Here's an example of one of the postcards that you can print. So you have the front of the postcard and then the back of the postcard. And again, you can see just the layout of text might be slightly different. So that's the thing I want you to think about when you're deciding if you're going to go ahead and go for this and not come in and edit anything, or if you want to come in and edit something. So if you decide, okay, no, I need to actually edit this, down at the bottom of your email or up at the top of your email is that link directly to the Marketing Center that allows you to come in and make those edits. And Lori Logan, thank you so much for letting us use your account so that we can showcase what's going on. I will keep everything in kind of a test environment. Thank you, Lori. I will keep everything in a test environment so that we can remove them for you and you don't have to have them left over afterwards here. But we have logged into a live account so you can see what this is going to look like. You'll see it has the Realogy logo here. And Melissa, is that staying? The Realogy logo? I believe it is, but I just
I
want to
believe
confirm.
so. Yep.
Okay. So you're not in a completely different environment. The logo is from that upper level mothership of Realogy, and will display that you are in the correct place. This is still your information for Reliance Partners. On this homepage, you'll see any of your currently automated listings. So as of today, once we hit the button and you start getting those emails coming in, when you come to this homepage, you should see each one of the listings that have an email represented here on the homepage. Over on the left, you have three buttons that are kind of our commonly used tasks. That's creating new projects, editing an existing project, or contact our support team. At the top navigation, you have access directly to your projects. So I want to take a little bit of time to talk about the vernacular and the jargon around some of these items. Each marketing piece is considered a project. So the website is a project, the postcard is a project, the social media post is a project. On the project screen, you'll have folders for each one of your listings. You can create new folders and manage your projects however you wish to. But when you get a new marketing kit of multiple marketing pieces, that is going to be an entire folder of projects. So keep that in mind. So if you wanted to change anything, that'll be under the projects folder or selecting one of these two common tasks. Designs allow you to just go straight to all the designs that are available for you. So let me click on this one so you can see what I'm talking about. Here we have at the top kind of a just listed postcard, but if we then scroll down to the bottom, you'll see icons for different kinds of designs. Brochures, e-cards, flyers, postcards, all of that is included here. And then we can even switch over to task. So maybe you want to focus in on a specific kind of design. Is it a just listed design, a just sold, an open house, a price reduced? And then that kind of filters down the options that are available for you in as far as designs go. So you can then select any of these to start creating a brand new design. Contacts, I'm not going to click on because these are Lori's personal contacts and I don't want to display them to everybody, but know that this is coming over from Engage. So any contacts that you already have in your Engage account, you will see displayed here. Bonus on top of that is any groups that you have already showing inside of Engage will also display here. So if you're wanting to email an e-postcard to a specific group, just come into your item that you're wanting to email, select the email option, and then choose the group that you want it to go to, and it will send it out on your behalf. So all of that connects back and forth from Engage. I said back and forth. It connects from Engage. If you update something in Impress, it actually does not go back to Engage. So it doesn't go the other direction in this case. Whereas with your email and Engage, that goes back and forth. So just wanted to make sure I called that out. Update anything inside of Impress and it just stays in Impress, but we'll pull everything over for you. And then you have listings. Now, what's beautiful about this, when we hit the button, those sold listings that I was mentioning will display here. You just won't get an email for them right away. Only those listings that are currently active today that get an email. Going forward, you'll get all of the updates and adjustments and sold marketing kits automatically created. But anything that sold yesterday will only show up here in this list. So you'll be able to come here and actually create content right from this listings page. So after that little bit of a tour here, I want to talk about some of the common tasks for coming into the Marketing Center in the first place. Because remember, you can do everything from that email. So all of this is just gravy. It's bonus stuff for you to see, but you can do everything from the email. Reasons for coming in here, probably you want to edit something. So we can actually select over from the left-hand column, edit an existing project. So let's click on that button. This will bring us to our projects page. You can see that we're now on the projects page from the upper navigation. Here's where we need to actually select the project we're wanting to edit. In this case, we have one project that's sitting in here to let us play with that. And we can select that right from the top box. But the lower box here is our project folders. And this is going to show us each folder that has been created automatically or that we create ourselves. Any of those automated emails, when you get that email, you know that all of the projects that were created for that email will be in a folder titled with your address of your property. So if it was 123 Main Street, your folder will be called 123 Main Street. So we can click on that folder to open up all the projects that are for that specific property, everything that's in that folder. And now we can go ahead and just click on the project we want to update. If you see the project you want in that top box, you can click on it there. I just want you to see that when you have multiple folders, it's easy to get into those projects that way. Now, this is a postcard, so we can go ahead and download the PDF right now if we want to have the option for sending it off to a commercial printer. You can see that we have actually a connection with Express Docs as a print option over here on the right. So if we clicked on this, it would actually single sign us in. I think we have to sign in the first time, Melissa. You have to sign into your account with Express Docs, and then it will go flow through the flow of you ordering the print. Is that
It
correct,
should
Melissa?
just SSO straight in.
Perfect.
Yep, when you click that, shouldn't be any need to sign in. But if you do have any problems, definitely reach out to your marketing team and we can connect on that. But yeah, it should be very seamless. Click it, it should take you through to Express Docs.
Beautiful. This is why I like Express Docs, because they let us do that. Not every single print partner lets us do that. So that's awesome. So click on that, takes you to your account, and you'll be able to order the prints. But let's say you want to print it locally, or you want to use a local print shop and just go pick it up on your rounds and errands. You can just select the download PDF option, and you'll have two options here. And let me just kind of cover what they are. The standard is what you would see when you just open up the preview. It's a regular PDF, has borders on it. You can print it on your local home printer or office printer. The commercial PDF will actually create the bleed and the crop marks. So it will give it that extra space that a commercial printer would need in order to then print it off and then cut it where it needs to go. So in this particular example with a postcard, I would probably recommend using the commercial print option and then sending it off to a local printer, or just clicking on Express Docs because it'll send over the commercial print automatically for you. But if you just want to print off a local copy of it for yourself to have, standard PDF will allow you to do that. So let's go back. Excuse me. We can preview this again. It'll open up a small box here that lets us see what this particular layout and looks like. And you can see there's a watermark across the front that says preview only. And as we scroll down, we can see what images were used, what the copy says, and who this, what your agent information is on the back. So if we want to go ahead and make an edit to this, we can just come in and click on edit, and this will just take us through kind of an editing wizard. First thing I want to point out is over on the left, you have your layout option, and this layout will show you view one, headline one, view one, photo one. This is actually indicating to you the fields and photos that you'll have in as you're editing and where they will fall on the actual postcard or whatever piece it is that you are editing. So this layout option is going to be available on no matter what item you edit. You'll see that over on the left-hand side. This info section, you can update it if you wish, but it's just going to pull in the project name and a project description if there is one. And you can actually skip right on past this and just go to photos. On the photo section, you can see that we've got 3 photos that have been pulled in automatically from the MLS, and they are populating the 3 spaces that are available for this particular postcard. You can also see that one is a kind of a different shape than the other 2, and that is because it is already being cropped based on what's available space-wise on the postcard. Each photo allows you to make some edits here. We have just the plus icon that lets us see it a little bit bigger so we can see exactly what the crop looks like. We have a trash icon if we just want to remove that and add something in later. We can actually swap the image with something else from a folder on our local machine or our for the project folder, which is actually our MLS images. And we can select a different crop. So if I click on this item here, this logo, to crop my image, this might be a little hard to see on your screen, so forgive me if it is, but you should see kind of a grayed out area at the bottom, a grayed out area at the top, and kind of what I like to call marching ants going around the edge of your picture. And there is a toggle that you can grab and change the crop. Now, what this will do is it'll keep the same aspect ratio, so it won't change the shape, but it will allow you to zoom in on a specific feature. It will allow you to kind of move that image around a bit so that you are happy with what that crop looks like for your postcard. So let's say I want to take this sign that's in the front and just hide it towards the bottom. I've now cropped that out just a little bit. Hit crop, and it just changes the look of what it'll look like on my postcard. If I want to swap the order of my images, it's actually pretty easy for us to just click and drag to change the order. But if I want a completely different image, and actually let me move that back because they should be facing each other on the postcard. If I want to actually change which image has been selected, I can just select this little icon that looks like 2 boxes and arrows kind of circling each other. It's a replace option. This will allow me to select from my own device. So I can go to my computer, hunt for it in my own folder structure, and add that photo in. I can go to project photos, which will be all the photos that have come over from the MLS for this project. Or I can actually go to my Dropbox. Dropbox is a great place in case the photographer that you used sent you a link to their Dropbox in order for you to access the photos. You can just go get them right from here as well. And favorite photos, you have the option to favorite some photos, and that'll just narrow down your options here so you can focus on what you're looking for. If we select project photos, you'll see all the images that have come over from the MLS, and you can then swap out what you're wanting to showcase on this postcard. So maybe we do want to have one of these overhead images. We could just select that instead and add selected. Now you can see that that's been updated, so we can go ahead and save and continue. And now we can change the text. So keep in mind, if you're wanting to create something that is highlighting your own business, you can change the headline. So you can grab the layout for a just listed project, but you could change what that headline is. So whatever it is that you're wanting to highlight on this particular piece, make it your own. You can change this context. All of this is pulled over directly from the MLS, but you'll notice as we get to the body copy, this particular copy goes about 200 characters over the space available for this postcard. So it'll actually just stop right where it's showing here, shopping and freeway. So it will cut off right when we get to where we need to, what we'll print. So actually we could just remove some of this and it will then show us that we have 82 characters left and we can add in more context. So this is the biggest piece that you'll probably come in to edit, and that is the copy will be different size available depending on the marketing piece. So a postcard will have limited size, a flyer will have limited size, but your website and your e-postcard will have almost unlimited space because it can just extend the size of the page. So think about that, come in and maybe adjust what that body copy says. And then lastly, we can confirm our agent information. Now, your name and your email address are going to come over from the Moxie roster, and we'll show all that information there, including your agent image. But you can update your title or phone number right here. So if there's certain things that you want for this particular postcard, you want a different phone number used, you can put that on this postcard and it will be reflected when you print that.
And I'm actually going to jump in to say,
Yes.
don't do that because we have those fields locked down. So this is why I joined Dawn, because every setup is a little bit different, but we do want you to actually make any changes if they're needed within the Moxie roster, and those changes will come across into Impress. We do have those fields locked down. I know it doesn't look like it because it's not grayed out, which is why I think Dawn thought that. So I'll check in with our team, Dan, just to make sure, because I know that was a decision. But just want to jump in to say, if any changes are needed, please make those in the Moxie roster and they will be updated automatically for you within your Impress account.
Perfect. Thank you, Melissa. Yes, every setup is just slightly different. So, and because it's not grayed out, that's exactly why I thought you could edit those. So that's good to know. Definitely make all those changes over on the Moxie side because that will, and I don't want to say it like Moxie isn't connected to Impress because Impress is a Moxie product. It's just that we're pushing information into this product for you, just like we do for Present or for Engage. So the Moxie roster really drives a lot of that information from your bio to your contact information. So once you've saved this, we can then hit the preview again. And we can see that we have slightly different crop on our main image. And as we scroll down, we have the different image showing up here on this back page. So now we're able to go ahead and download our PDF. We can hit the download button underneath the standard. And this will allow us to go ahead and click on the link that will open up in our browser and we can see it in all its glory. And now we can go ahead and save that and print that off as we wish. So let me go through a couple other scenarios here. Editing a project will look identical to everything that I just showed you. You'll open up the project, you'll hit edit, you'll go through what the description is, your photos, your text, confirm your agent information, and save. And that's the same for every single project. But if you want to create a brand new project, or If you want to create a new kit, you can do that. So let me actually go to the listing section here first. We can see all of the list of every single listing, and I'm coming here instead of looking at the homepage because the homepage will only show you everything that's been automated already. But if you have any of those just recently sold properties and you want to highlight something for them, they will show up on your listings page here. And all you need to do is then find the list, your actual listing here in the list, and then select manage. So manage will then open up that listing detail. You'll have all of the information that has come across from the MLS, including, as I scroll down, all the images will load here in just a second. And you'll see everything that we have pulled from the MLS. So there are all the images. And these are still syncing over with the MLS. So it belongs to the original listing, and any update that comes from the MLS will be reflected here as well. So we want to create a new marketing kit for this particular item. So we'll select, we can either view any projects that were already created, but in this example, we haven't created anything. We can create a one-off project. So if we just want a postcard or we just want a website, we can do that. Or we can go to the kits. And if I select marketing kit, you'll then see your options for just listed, price reduced, open house, or just sold. And in this example, we're wanting something for a just sold listing. So I'm actually going to hit select, and it's going to start building our kit. So it's pulling in the information from the MLS, it's populating each project with the photographs that it's going to need. It's pulling all that data, and you can see the first project it's building is taking just a little bit of time. So this is definitely something that you'll want to do for specific ones, not every single thing, because it does take you some time here. But we're already on to project 2, and then it'll be a third project. And we can then look at what these what these projects look like, what these marketing materials look like.
And while that's being created, I just want to jump into for a question that came in just to speak about it. The pictures will pull whatever you have at the MLS. So it is best practice if there's a certain image that you want to show first and maybe not, I don't know, the bathroom or the backyard, and you want to show the front of the house first for your main image. If you load them into the MLS that way, they will create the materials with those images in mind and in that order. So I think it is best practice for the first kind of 10 images, perhaps to be in the order you'd want them to appear so that you can really benefit from the automation email that gets produced and not necessarily have to go in. There may be occasions where you do, but that's going to set you up really well to utilize that automation to the max instead of having to go in and change out the bathroom image for the front of the home, etc.
And to pile on to that particular one, I can also see, yes, some of the images that we get from the MLS could be lower resolution, specifically for print. For digital, it's going to be great and because it looks good on all of the digital marketing pieces that have come out of the MLS. So the only place that you probably need to worry about for a lower res is going to be any of the print material. So come in and double check what that looks like. And they might be a little soft. There is also actually a warning sign inside of the marketing center here that lets you know if the image you're using is actually too small an image. So the one that I actually just cropped of Lori's here, it did not have that warning sign. And even when I cropped it slightly smaller, it didn't show me the warning sign either. So it was still a really good resolution for the print that it was going to be used for. So there will be a little warning error. It looks like that little warning triangle that you see on streets. It'll show up like that to show you that that's too low a resolution, but you can upload a higher resolution from your own device or from a Dropbox that your photographer has provided. So you have access there. So here I've created the 3 projects, and you can see I've got 4 projects sitting on my screen. So why do I have 4 projects if I only just created 3? Well, we have them all in a folder together. So if I go to my projects section, you can see I have 4 projects here. And if I scroll down, I now have 2 folders. So that one listing, when I hit create kit, it automated the whole process and created a folder for me to use. And you can see over to the far side, this folder only has 3 projects where my testing folder has 1. So then we can go into that folder to just focus in on these 3 projects that we created here. So not only do I have a social post, so we'll open this up and preview that. So this is going to show us what the social post will look like, a different cropping on that particular photograph. And it just has the details for this where you can then save that image and then load it to any of your social media platforms. So what I want to talk a little bit about for social posts, all social channels have different rules for how to add in information. Facebook is always changing their access point and changing rules for that. And so now if you were to click share to Facebook, it'll only share a link. It doesn't share the photograph. It used to share the photograph. Instagram, you actually have to be a business, like an influencer on Instagram for them to allow you access to post from a third-party platform. Otherwise, you have to actually have it on your mobile device and upload it into your Instagram account. So there isn't a way for us to just say, hey, post this to Instagram on your behalf. Pinterest is also different. Snapchat, if you're using that, Twitter, however you want to share on your social channels, we are giving you the option to just download the image, have it on your mobile device, and upload it to wherever you want it to be. So you have that availability. So that's why there is no button that says just post it to this social channel or this social channel, because you will have a better experience by downloading that image and uploading it to the social channel of your choice. Editing this is exactly the same as what I showed before. You have the 4 items at the top where you can change out what photo you want. Here you can see this one actually has a warning symbol on it, which is interesting because it didn't have a warning symbol on it for the print. So I'm curious about that myself. However, it could simply be in the crop of it. So we can come in and hit crop. And again, we can adjust this however we want to. It'll be, a square, essentially, just shy of a square because we have some content that shows up underneath it. So we can adjust that crop a little bit. If you wanted to, you can completely replace this image and grab a more high resolution image from your device or Dropbox. Save this, update any of the text. Here you can see this is going to say just sold, and then it just has some details about the property. So really when you're coming in to edit, it's going to be for the body copy and photos. That's really all you're going to need to worry about. And now we can download this image and upload it to any of our social media. So it's going to ask me to save it here. We can save that right there. And I now have that image. Let me grab it from my other screen here and drag that over. We have this beautiful image that can now be uploaded to any social channel. All right, so we've shown you how to create a full project from an existing listing. Well, what if you are representing the buyer? This is not automated coming in here. And Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong here, please. But if you are listed as the buying agent, we are not pulling that from the MLS to display here, correct?
Correct.
So, and if you are representing the buyer and you want to highlight that listing, it's not going to be automated for you and it's not going to be showing under your listing section. So what do you do in order to showcase that information? Well, we're going to come back to the listings again. And there's an option over here on the left-hand side to create a new listing. So I'm actually going to kind of funnel 2 examples into one. The first is you're representing the buyer. You can actually put in the MLS ID for that listing and it'll pull over that information on your behalf. If you're wanting to win a new listing, and you're wanting to showcase what you can do for that new listing, just plug in the address information and all the details that you have up here. I would actually go by the property and take some photographs with my cell phone and make sure that that's available for me to upload those here. And I'm creating that new listing for me to then create a marketing kit. Then I can share that and include it maybe in present in my listing packet so that I can win that listing from that person so that they can see exactly what I would do with their property, with their information. So here we can just add in, let's do 123 Main Street, always my favorite. Let's go Sacramento. My apologies if I spelled that and butchered that name. Then we can come down here and I'm going to just add some photographs. I'm going to go to my computer. I'm going to add in all the photos that I want to use. I actually have a section here. Let me move this over here so you don't see how my brain works. And then we're going to go to, wait for it, Here we go. We have photographs available for us. So I just have some random photos. These are not properties that would ever be considered the same. But we can just grab some images, open these up, and they will load up for our listing. And then they populate into the space. So we have some horizontals, we have some verticals. We know that that may or may not work with some things, and we may have to change the crop on that. Then as we scroll up, we can save this. This now creates its own listing, and I have access to create individual projects or a full marketing kit. So if I'm trying to win that listing, I can hit create marketing kit and I can select just listed so that they can see what that looks like. So this is going to take some time to load this just listed kit, but I can do this for whether or not I am representing the buyer and I want to highlight that I just helped with that sale, or I'm wanting to win the next listing and I'm wanting to showcase this to my potential customer that this is the kind of marketing that they can depend on from me. So this will generate in just a second. I don't know why I created the one off of the 7 instead of the one off of the 3, since I knew the 3 was already going to take some time. But here we go. We have all of that information. We have our video. So let's select the video and look at that. We can upload it directly to YouTube from here, or we can go ahead and preview that video. And this is just going to pull all the images from our listing and then put it in kind of a slideshow. Excuse me. So you can see there are different ways for you to create the one-off projects or all of the kits in order to highlight any listing you're looking for, whether that is to win that listing or to highlight a previous listing or to showcase something that is not in your system just yet. So here's our video showcasing 123 Main Street. We can view full size in our window here. And it's just, this is exactly the same kind of thing you can expect from any of your listings that are a part of that just listed packet. Okay. The last thing I want to show is just creating a one-off design. So we can come to designs. We can scroll down and say we want to look under task and I want to create something for just listed. And then I want to go ahead and create a social media post. I can select this design. And then I want to give this a name. So I'm not automating any of this process. This is something I'm creating as a one-off. So I need to actually give this a name, and I'll just call this social post. I'm not going to give it a description, but I am going to select which folder this is going into. So here you can see I've got 3 folders now. I have my testing folder, I have one for Ranchwood Court, and now I have my 123 Main Street new listing I just created. So I can create a brand new folder here, or I can just select one of these folders that I have already. Additionally to that, I can clack in the MLS ID number, the listing number for the listing I'm wanting to use to populate the information. Or from this drop-down menu, I can see any of the listings I have currently in my own listing page. So any listing that belongs to me. So I can select 123 Main Street or Ranchwood Court. I'm going to grab 123 Main Street for this example and then save and continue. That will allow me to create that project and plug it into that folder, and it uses the information from that listing. Well, I want a different photograph on the front here, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my project photos, and it's going to show me all the project photos that are under 123 Main Street. There we go. So let's just make this my happy coffee post. I'll add my selected image. I'll save and continue. I can add in any text. It will pull that information from my listing that I created, but I can adjust that if I want to. Pulls in the information that's already coming from Moxie Roster, and I will then save and continue. And now I can download this image and preview that to be able to use it for my social media posts. So you can always create a listing also that is going to let you showcase your showcase your business. So you can use the branding here. You can change the text that's going to be down here. So you could say, something that is going to sell your services if you're trying to win any new listing coming in, and just use this as an opportunity to post something on your social channels with the marketing materials you have available, because that just listed is simply a headline. You can change what the context is. So, Melissa, I would like to bring you in and help answer any questions that have come in. And is there anything else you would like me to show here for everyone?
Thank you, Dawn. I think you did a great job at showing all of the things to help everyone on the call get started with getting access, and the marketing team on the BHG Reliance side has done a great job of answering many of the questions that have come into chat as we've been going through the training. But I have grabbed a few of the questions that haven't been covered that we can kind of talk about. And as we go through those questions, if anyone on the training has any others, please feel free to post them into chat, and we can make sure we cover them in the time we have remaining on this training. So one of the first questions that came in, let's see, I've got them in order here to make sure we cover. One thing I would love for you to show, Dawn, just to make sure that everyone has knows where they can find and access support if needed. Because one of the questions that came in is, will there be a quick reference guide that includes the steps that are being covered? We do have a bunch. Well, I'll let you take it, Dawn, because it's your baby. I know that you
Absolutely. So I've created several videos that are on our help center that walk through each of the individual things I've shown you here today: how to create a new project, how to edit a project, how to create a listing. So there are videos that are just focusing on those specific items, and you would just go to Get Support. I feel like that's an old 1950s TV show. Get Smart. Get Support, and then you'll come to kind of our FAQ center. But down in the bottom right-hand corner, there should be a really familiar pink help button to all of you. Go to that pink help button, and then you can find those videos. So you can either talk with our support team. They'll suggest some of the information that's available here, which are FAQs on our help center. You can click on Get in Touch to connect with our support team. Or we can actually just select here. I'm going to go open up this article so you can see the full screen here. This comes to a previously recorded webinar. I want to show you where this information is. Under Moxie Marketing. So it's not under Impress just yet. It's under Moxie Marketing over on the left. Then you have Moxie Impress listed, and the Impress channel will actually open up videos that are available for you. And you can see all of the options for how to update your profile, how to rename folders, how to edit an existing project, how to edit your contacts. All of that is available in really bite-sized elements here: 1 minute, 2 minute, 40 seconds, really quick videos that show you exactly what I've covered here today.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn.
Yes.
Okay, now I'm going to go through the questions that we have. This first one I'm actually going to take, Dawn. So the question was, will we get the listing packet email when we post a coming soon on the MLS, or not until we post it into the new or active status? So the answer to that question currently would be, we do not have a particular designs that get generated for coming soon. If those are needed, we could certainly work with your marketing team. So it would only generate that email, the automation email with your designs for your just listed package, as soon as the listing was at an active status at the MLS. So hopefully that answers the question. And I think certain MLSs don't have coming soon, only some do. It's a relatively new concept for many MLSs, but please definitely connect with your marketing team if that is something you're interested in, and we can speak with them and kind of talk more about that.
And outside of the automated version of that, so if that is not something that we have access to from your MLS, or it's not something that we can provide right away because there would be designs that need to be created for it, you can always use any of the designs here and just change the text to say coming soon, and grab a photograph, and you can still use some of the content in here to create something on your own. It just wouldn't be automated that way.
And I would just add to that, double check the rules for coming soon.
Yes.
Every MLS is a little bit different.
Yes. Make sure you're following your rules.
Yes. I just want to make sure we're not getting anyone into trouble, and that you're doing your due diligence to check what your MLS allows for that.
Hey, Melissa, I had a question that came in about do you know if there is a multiple property option on any of the print or email templates? And the answer to that one is we do have that available. It's there's the proof of production template that is available in our marketing center.
Awesome. Thank you for covering that one, Dan. And I'm assuming if anyone on the call has questions on that, OAs are the best resource to go to.
OAs are the agent's best friend for Impress.
Perfect. So see your office OA if you do have any question or need help with that.
And Melissa or Dawn, could you comment on the capabilities of Impress from people's smartphones?
It is mobile responsive. So you should be able to, you get the email in your mobile device. You open up that email, you can tap on the link to access the marketing center and you would be able to do it. From my personal experience, I like doing this kind of thing on a larger screen on the desktop. So it's easier for me to see, but that's my personal preference. But it is available for you to access on your phone.
We know how important that is when you're on
Out
the
and
go.
about, yeah.
Yes.
And a question came in about the ability to change banner colors, fonts, etc. And I think Adrian answered this in the post, but in case anyone else is wondering verbally, the materials that we've presented here today and everything that you're going to see in Impress have been designed in compliance with our brand graphic standards. So all of our logos, etc., are not modifiable. They are ready to go, and you don't have to lift a finger. They're going to look and feel how they need to.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. Let's see, I'm looking at what we have covered and what we haven't. Some of the questions I wasn't sure on, so I'm going to circle back with some of the questions. I think we need a little bit more context in order to be able to answer. One question did come in though, and I think that our answer to this will be very similar to coming soon. Can we promote someone else's listing within Impress?
I mean, this is a great question, especially if maybe you're hosting an open house for another agent. That can be an option where you're wanting to really highlight that listing to promote so people come, and that boosts your business and helps with that listing. There is not a shared listing option here inside of Impress at this stage. So grabbing something automated is not available. However, just like with the coming soon, we can check to see if that's something that we can make available for you. We can also check to see if there are any designs that can be created for you, but you could use any of the open house designs and just add or create a listing that showcases off just a few of the images that you want to highlight and use that that open house marketing kit to promote that listing. So you already have a communication with that listing agent because you're hosting their open house on their behalf to be able to use those photographs. So that would be one way that you could go around doing that. But we'll check on the option of allowing for shared listings so that it's more automated and easier to do that.
Yes, Dan, I will sync with you on that specifically. And I would also add, I think, Dawn, you kind of covered this, but make sure you have permission, because
Yes.
if you're creating something from your account, it will have your information on it. So best to check with the listing agent before creating any designs with their listing.
And if there are any other examples besides hosting someone else's open house of why you would want to do that to promote someone else's listing, let us know. That's the one that I really hear the most often out in the field, that, hey, I'm going to be hosting it. So an opportunity for me to meet people and build my business. And the listing agent doesn't have to stand there for 3 hours hosting an open house. That's usually the use case. But if there are other use cases, let me know. I'd love to hear them.
Yes. And while we wait for hopefully some awesome examples we haven't heard of in the chat, there was one question that came in around for pending postcards. Would you just set up a new project for that, is the question.
For pending postcards?
Yeah, so pending isn't a status that we have.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I gotcha. So yeah, sorry, Melissa, I didn't mean to step on you there. So the 4 designs that we have are the just listed, a price reduced, open house, or just sold. So if it's in pending status, that would be another option to come in and create something or one-off piece of marketing material, but it is not automated. You will not get a marketing kit or automated guide for that.
Awesome. Thank you, Dawn.
Mhm.
There's a question that came in. Will we receive an email with a link if we do not currently have a listing?
No, you will not. So the link, if you're wanting to create content and you don't have current listings right now, you would be able to access that directly from your hub. So you'll have a link in that top navigation on your hub to get to the screen. But if you do not have any current active listings, you will not get that initial email.
And just, I know this was way up in the chat. So for anyone that didn't see it, I know Erica mentioned that they will be sharing the link to your hub, your brand new hub, which has been redesigned. So if you're not sure what that is, I believe a communication will be sent from your team shortly. And I'll just throw it in there for good measure. You can always check with your office OA too, if you're not sure where that is or you missed the communication. But my understanding is there will be a separate communication sent with that link. But if you're already familiar with Moxie and signing in, you'll see Impress at the top level navigation, and you can access it from there as well.
Yes, if you are so excited and can't wait to get going, you will be able to access Impress from, if you go to Engage or website or anything else, it'll take you a single sign-on. You'll see the link to Impress up there. But yes, thank you, Melissa. Shortly after the meeting, we will be sending you the link to the new hub, and you will see it in the navigation bar on the top, as well as some other links on the top and on the right-hand side, in addition to the company calendar. So yeah, access everything from one place.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. And there is a question that came in. I can't find it in chat, unfortunately, but the question was, are there new price options? And I'm not sure if that's referring to print. Dawn and I probably are not the best people to speak to that, but if you could post into chat a little bit more clarity around that question, I want to make sure we answer it if we can.
Yeah, and it might be related to designs for a price reduction. So there is a price reduced option here as far as tasks go and what projects are available for that. And if there is a price change or a price reduction, that is an automated package that comes out. And you can always come in and change the terminology to price change if you don't want to say price reduced.
And to follow up on that, of the items of the 22 different templates that we've got created automatically, there are 5 of them that are for price reduction. They include flyer, double-sided flyer, jumbo postcard, e-postcard, which is can be used as an email, as well as social graphics.
Thank you, Dan. And I saw you posted that in chat too. So if anyone wants to check that out, Dan did post a list. If you scroll up in the chat, you should be able to see all of the different designs there for each status.
And there's a great question. Is this being recorded to be reviewed later? And of course it is. We are hoping to get, it takes about 24 hours to get the recorded link back from this fine team. But we're going, once that it's available, we'll definitely share it with everyone. If we have it in time for Eric's tool time tomorrow, then it will be shared at that time as well.
I'll bribe Dawn to see if we can get it.
No pressure. Yeah.
Well, and Melissa, can I add that, we have 22 different materials set up in kind of this first phase. I think it's pretty comprehensive coverage of your standard listing marketing. However, if you guys are using this and you find that, oh, I could really use this, think about that, just shoot your marketing team an email. We always will be looking to, bring on new items that you guys want. So let us know what you think is missing, if you think anything's missing. And, at some point, maybe we might just add other pieces to accommodate your needs. So.
That's a great call out. Thank you for adding that, because I know that the team does have plans to look at what are the most popular things? What things do you love? So definitely pass your feedback along to the marketing team so that they can take that into consideration for this first set of designs that you're seeing, for anything that you would really like to see that isn't currently there. I'm not making any promises, Erica and Dan, so hopefully not getting myself into any trouble. Okay, there was a question that came in. Let's see. Another way to use other agents listing could be if that listing is in your farm or neighborhood. So other ways of using it. Love it.
Love it. Thank you.
Just scrolling through.
I'm seeing a couple questions about will assistants or other people have access to this on behalf of the agent if they're helping to create that material for the agent. And you can use account access. There's already an account access system in place inside of Moxie that allows you to switch to your agent's account.
I'm going to go one step over that, Dawn, actually, because we have impersonation set up. We were ahead of the game. We already anticipated that being a thing. So we worked really closely with your team to make sure that OAs, managers, the people that your marketing team that you might reach out to help can actually help you out and jump into your account without needing your credentials. We're all about security. So with a click of a button, they will be able to help you if needed. Dan, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit about that. I know you've worked really closely with the team to make sure that they were feeling ready and prepared to help agents.
Yeah, so we've had all of the OAs have been part of the sneak preview of Impress. They've been using it for a couple of weeks now. They've received training a couple of weeks previously, and the first step that they did is they went through all of their office rosters to make sure that contact information, phone numbers, and emails are all how their agents want them to appear. So we've made all of those updates, and the OA has what's called impersonation right for everyone in their office. So as I've mentioned in chat, as well as I've mentioned earlier, agents, your OA is your best friend for Impress. They can do anything that you can do in Impress. And what we want to do is this tool is designed to free up your time so that you can be working with your clients and selling, and your OAs can be there to help produce this material. It's a lot of it is automatically generated, but if there's any additional edits that they need to do or send it to print, your OA is your best friend for Impress.
Like, how many times can we get the OA shout out in to say reach out to your OA? Love it. Thank you, Dan. So one thing that came in, and I think this is more along the lines of a feature request here at Moxie, we are always open to feedback, feature requests, and you all have been around with us for several years now. So the message that came in was around the buyer agent marketing side of the transaction, having some sort of acknowledgement that, permission is required in order to use the MLS photos. Every MLS is a little bit different, so I can certainly put it forward to our product team for consideration. In kind of popping up a message to make sure that you are doing your due diligence into either using your own images or getting permission to use the list agents photos if you're on the buyer side. So just wanted to let you know, I have seen that comment, and we can definitely put it forward to our product team for consideration. I can't answer that question, but I'm hoping someone on the team can. For the Roseville office, who is the contact person for the new system? I know we might not have an answer immediately, but we will find out for you.
Hi, good afternoon. It's Michelle Campbell right here in the Roseville office.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
So there is your answer. Let's see. Next question we have, and I know we've got last few minutes left, so I want to try and make sure we get through everything. How long after a listing goes active on MLS does it take to get the link?
I would say give it I would say no more than 2 hours. It's generally pretty quick. It's after we receive the information from the MLS, and we do wait to send out that listing until just some behind the scenes information. We get the data first, because that comes in over quickly. It's just text, and then the images follow right after that. So once we have all the images for your listing, that's when that'll trigger the email to go out to you. So I would say it doesn't take more than 2 hours after a listing goes active on the MLS, and generally a lot quicker than that.
And just a quick note on that piece, images are a requirement for that to be produced. So you'll want to make sure that you have your images in the right order is another great idea that we talked about a little bit earlier, but that is a requirement. If there's no images present, because maybe you entered the data in, you didn't have your images yet, it's not going to produce that automated email until the images are there at the MLS. So question that's come in, are there marketing pieces specific for luxury homes?
I can take that, Melissa, if you want.
Perfect. Thanks, Erica.
So thanks, you guys. Yeah, we've definitely gotten questions about distinctive collection. And, you know, as we've talked about before, you know, this is really an evolving and ongoing thing. We definitely want to hear feedback, and understandably, distinctive collection is part of our brand. It was really important to us to get this product to you at a high quality level as soon as we possibly could. And so distinctive collection is coming. And as we've talked about too, while this is part of the Realogy rollout, we're first because we're awesome. So we're even like pre-Realogy rollout, we're doing this. And so we really felt like it was important to get this out and available to you as soon as possible. As we've mentioned, it has been a labor of love and has taken some time. So distinctive collection will be coming. I don't exactly know the timing, but it's definitely on the plan and on the radar. And so the answer is yes, and stay tuned.
Thank you, Erica. So I have a question that's just come in, and we might need to check on the videos specifically. Are there just listed video templates for social media?
That's a really good question. So the video, there is just one video design. And as far as it being a templated video for social media, I believe you can upload this as a video to social media. Of course, something like Instagram is going to be a different aspect ratio. It might sit a little bit differently in there. Facebook, it should take it no problem. Other social media, you can post the link to it. So that won't be an issue. But as far as the template goes, it's not specifically templatized to social media, but you do have this video available to upload to any account.
Thank you, Dawn.
Yeah.
So let's see. The next question that came in, and we've got literally 1 minute, but this one is one that I think the team might want to talk about a little more. And I think this falls into the territory of feedback and where this should exist. So the question is it possible to develop general or seasonal marketing pieces to market our services? I know that campaigns and Moxie Engage might be the place that actually lives. I know Eric creates a newsletter, but Erica, is there any insight that you can provide on that one?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I don't want to certainly steal the marketing team's thunder, but I'm happy to just address this quickly. And the answer is yes, it's actually not found in Impress. Having said that, as you know, we still have a rock star marketing team, and they do currently produce seasonal things, but we also are expanding that, elevating our level of service to you guys. And you will see in our new landing page a bunch of seasonal stuff as part of a variety of different offerings, not to mention the marketing club, which many of you have already taken advantage of. So yes, we do have that. As I mentioned, it's not technically in Impress, but it's part of our marketing concierge, which you can get to from the hub that's coming very shortly after this meeting. So you'll see that link on there, and you'll be able to go directly to all the seasonal offerings. And we're going to be adding more and more and more. So while we've had a few seasonal offerings throughout the years, we're going to be increasing that volume. So you have a variety of different things to choose from. So again, the answer is yes. And you will be able to link through it directly from the marketing concierge, which you'll get on the hub shortly after this meeting.